Hi guys, it's Sam with Simple Mama Beauty. Today, I am excited. I am going to be filming a kind of beginner tutorial. It's going to be the eyes and the whole face. But I know there's a lot of people out there that don't really know what they're doing when it comes to makeup. I know last week, I think it was, my mom and I went to Ulta and she's like, okay, help me get everything that I need so I can do a full face of makeup so I can just know what I'm doing and have everything I need so I can feel confident and look beautiful. And I think there's a lot of people out there that just don't really understand how everything works. So I'm going to go through everything and explain stuff to the best of my ability. I am no makeup artist. I just really love makeup and I watch a lot of YouTube. So I've just kind of seen the way how things work and kind of understand them. So it's just going to be my take on a beginner tutorial. I'm going to be using a few Colourpop products. They're like my favorite brand. But I'm going to be using the Mar palette. I know this probably isn't really more what a beginner would go for. They'd probably go for more neutrals, but I really wanted to use this palette today. And it's got some fun colors, but it's going to be kind of more of an extravagant eye look, but I will explain things so you can work it with whatever eyeshadow palette that you got. But alright, we're going to dive on in. This is probably going to be a long video, so just forewarning you. I'm going to go in with some eyeshadow primer. I love this CoverGirl Lid Lockup. It works so good. If you have oily eyelids, eyeshadow primer will help your eyeshadow stay in place so that they don't get creasy and just, I know it almost seems like they melt off because your eyelids kind of get oily and stuff. Alright. So my eyes are prime. I am going to go in with a face primer right now. I like to use a face primer. I do feel like it helps my makeup stay on longer and just, not exactly fill in my pores, but make my pores look a little bit better. And I'm using the Physicians Formula Spotlight. This is the illuminating primer. I like a nice luminous, sorry, my dogs are in the background barking, but I like a nice luminous foundation. I don't like to look matte. If you want to look matte, you can use like a matte primer. There's tons of those, and like a matte foundation. I just like a more dewy look. I'm sorry, you guys are going to be hearing my dogs play in the background, but such is life, right? Alright, now I like to go in with my eyes and my eyeshadow first. I don't like to do my base and then do my eyes because I have a lot of fallout sometimes with eyeshadows and it doesn't always brush off from my face so well. And I don't like eyeshadow smeared all over my base after I've done it. So, alright, I'm going to go in with this fluffy brush. This one is just one that I got in my Ipsy bag. And brushes, you don't need expensive brushes. You need brushes that are decent. You don't want junk brushes, but you don't need to go out and spend a bunch on a brush. But alright, I'm going to take this shade. I think it's Sherbet. And I'm going to use this for a transition shade. A transition shade is just a shade that's going to help transition from like each spot on your eye. You don't want to just go in with your lid color and that be it. I mean, some people do, and you know, that's fine. But if you want your eyeshadow to look blended and just have a nice softer gradient, a transition color is great. I like to go for more of like the browns, and I try to go with a lighter shade. This is a touch darker than what I normally would go in with, but it's what's in this palette, and I don't feel like reaching for another palette. I'm just gonna go in, and like right here is my eyelid crease. That's like when I open my eyes, the crease is right there. And a transition color, you're gonna want to go a little bit above that. So when your eyelid is closed, you can still see your eyeshadow. Alright, I'm gonna go shut my door so you guys can actually hear me. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in more with that transition shade. And with transition shades, you want to use more of a matte color. You don't want to use a shimmer. Makeup really doesn't have any rules, but these are just kind of guidelines that help to have more of a flawless or a better look, I guess. But see how that's just a light wash of color? It's not super vibrant. Some people do their makeup different and do like the all glam look and start with their lid shade and work their way out. This is just the way how I find that works best for me. And as a beginner, I really feel like this would be a good way to start. All right. Now I'm gonna grab more of a pointed brush slightly. That's not as big and fluffy. And I'm gonna go in more with that same shade and try to focus it more just in the crease and get more on there so it will be a little bit darker. I'm not wanting a super dark color in my crease for this look. And you're kind of doing like windshield motions. That's a really good motion. And then you can do like little circles too to help blend it out a little bit more. But see, I don't know if, it just made it a little bit darker right there. It's not way more intense. It's just a little bit darker. My pug is underneath my desk snoring right now. So if you're wondering what that sound is, that is what you're hearing. All right, I want to deepen that up just a little bit more. It's not quite deep enough. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this shade on my brush and a little bit of this shade and just kind of mix them. That way it's not fully that dark and it's a little bit darker than that color though. All right, and I'm gonna stay out. I'm not gonna go all the way in right here. I'm gonna stay out more on the outer V to kind of create that depth and dimension. And I'm just going with more of those colors. When you add that depth and dimension, it just adds in depth, so it's not just looking all like one color. You can just throw in some bronzer and some highlight on your eyes, throw in the bronzer in your crease, and throw in some highlight on your lid if that's what you want to go for. That is a very easy everyday look if you want to do that. If you want to step it up and do more of like an evening look or just more of a vibrant look, these are what you can do. My pug is so loud, I'm sorry, y'all. All right, now I am gonna go in with more of this packing brush. It's an Eco Tools brush. I don't really have like an exact name for it, but I'm gonna go in with this shade. It's HWY. I really like Colourpop eyeshadows. This is gonna go on my lid because I feel like they are very good quality for not too expensive. This palette's like a $12 palette, and they often do sales, and you can get this for like $9. Well, Colourpop's eyeshadows are so good. I haven't really been disappointed by anything by Colourpop. So if you want something that's a little bit more inexpensive, but you know is gonna work good, you should check them out. They are sold in Ulta, but it's just a small section. If you want to look at all of their stuff, go on colourpop.com. It's color with a U in it, and they have so many things, and it's so beautiful. All right, I am going to make this look a little bit more cool, and I'm gonna go in with this middle shade called Gridlock. I'm just gonna go over that how are you, or HWY, and this is just gonna add some, oh my gosh, my dogs. All right, that's not showing up super like a lot. You can wet your brushes, use a setting spray. Right now I have the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. But you take your brush, you get your eyeshadow on it, and then you get it wet. This is gonna make the color really show up. Here, you'll see it here in just a second. Boom, you see how it went from that like minty green to more of that color in the pan? That color. It's not so minty, and that's just from wetting my brush. You want to wet your brush after you get eyeshadow on it, because I'm gonna do that to the other side now. If you go in with a wet brush and your eyeshadow, it can cause what they call hard pan. and it makes your eyeshadow so hard. Like you almost need to scrape off a top layer so you can actually use your eyeshadow. It gets so bad. I know I've done that with a Wet n Wild little quad, and yeah, after I did that I wasn't able to use it. I'm just gonna go in and clean off that brush. These are so nice. This is called Brush Off and it's made by Juno. But there's lots of different brands that make these little guys. It's just a sponge that you can wipe your brush on and get the eyeshadow off so you're not spreading different colors all over. Alright, now I'm going to go in with that little crease brush and blend out that blue color. You can also go back in and pick up those colors and just, if you lost that depth in that darker outer V, go back in and just put it back in there. Alright, I'm going to clean off this crease brush and my little thing and just kind of gonna blend these colors. I'm trying not to touch the blue, but I don't want that all over, but I'm just trying to make it blend out a little bit more. Alright, that's all that I'm going to do on the eyes for right now. But they're not done yet. Now I'm going to go into foundation. And, oh my goodness, I got a puppy coming in here. For foundation right now, I've been really loving my Colourpop No Filter foundation. This is in the shade Fair 20, is it? My lighting's Fair, yeah, Fair 20. I really like this foundation. It really does seem like it adds kind of like a filter over your face. It's so nice. I like to go in with a brush with a lot of foundations first and just get it on my face. I don't get it exactly perfect. And then I'll go in with a sponge afterwards and just really get it smoothed out the rest of the way. I used to think this foundation was too light for me, but I think it might have been when I was like more tan when I was trying it out. But it really works good for me now. And I think it does kind of oxidize a little bit. And oxidizing is your foundation. It's not even just always foundation, but some stuff does oxidize. Other stuff does oxidize too. But after being out in like the oxygen and the air, things can darken up. I know I have a really hard time with this because I'm quite fair skinned, and I will put on a foundation and I'm like, oh, it looks pretty good on me. After a while, sometimes it can be 10 minutes, sometimes it can oxidize throughout the day. And I will notice that I look almost orange or, you know, just a different color. It looks really light compared to my neck, but that's just because of the lighting. I promise you, it's not that bad. I have a darker shade that's right here. This is the Fair 35. This gets darker on me throughout the day, which that'll probably be better for me when I got more of a tan. You want to be more careful going around your eyes with your foundation so you're not messing up your eyeshadow. Like right there, I kind of went a little bit too far in, but right there I did a lot better. But just kind of blend it out. Alright, you do want to blend down your neck. I forgot to mention that. So it's not like a line of foundation, because if it does oxidize and it's not your perfect shade, you're going to see that line right there of foundation to your skin. So bring it down your neck and it's not going to be so noticeable. Alright, this is the Flower Beauty sponge. I love it. It's super soft. You can use whatever sponge you want. The Real Techniques one is really good. That one's about $5. I also have one from Juno that's nice. Excuse me. With these sponges, you want to get them wet. Get your water, like warm water, put your sponge under that. Squeeze it, get the water in there. It's going to get bigger most of the time. Most sponges will grow quite a bit when they get wet. After you get it wet, you're going to want to squeeze it out. Get that extra water out. Then you're going to want to dry it off in a towel. Alright, and once you've done all that, oh, hold on. Excuse me. Once you've dried it off, it's ready to use. So I'm just gonna go over, make sure I don't have any brush strokes from using a brush for my foundation. With that foundation and that brush, I haven't been having any problems with that, but this just kind of helps to have more of a flawless base, for me anyways. If you need more coverage than what you got, you can add your foundation, just put a pump on your sponge and go over it like this. Some foundations work better with just a sponge and not a brush. You kind of got to see what works best for you and what you prefer. All right, I'm going in with concealer now for my under eyes. I really like the Instant Age Rewind by Maybelline. If you just want to conceal your under eyes, you can go for the same shade as your foundation. If you kind of want to brighten your under eyes, go for just a little bit lighter of a shade. I know a few years ago people were going like really light with that, but now they're kind of toning down. You want to make sure you get those darker spots and bring it down just a little bit so it blends out nicely. All right, now I'm gonna take my sponge and blend that. Sorry guys, my dogs are terrible today. All right, see now my dark circles are a lot less noticeable. I'm gonna go let my puppy out. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back after letting the puppies out. All right, the concealer's all blended out now, and you wanna make sure under your eyes you have wrinkles. Your concealer can get into those wrinkles and like get creased. So if you're going to set your under eyes with powder, you want to get those creases all out before you do that. Not everyone sets their under eyes. I like to do it. I feel like it helps so they're not creasing all the time, like throughout the day. I just go in with this Colourpop No Filters pressed powder in the shade Fair. And you can use your sponge and just kind of get on in there. Some people can use or like to use loose powder. Sometimes I do that too. You can use a brush for this. You don't have to use a sponge. Otherwise, I have this Real Techniques brush that I like to use too, and I'll go over that too. Okay. Now I'm gonna go and set the rest of my foundation with a powder. Not everyone does this, like I said. I like to do it. I feel like it makes my makeup stay on longer and just look better throughout the day, not wear off so easily. I like this CYO, what is it called? Fixing Powder All Set, and this is in the shade Clear. It's kind of got a little pinkish tint to it, but there's lots of loose powders that you can get from the drugstore. This is from Walgreens. Yeah, I have a L'Oreal Hydro set or something like that. That's pretty good that I like. Yeah, I know the Maybelline loose powder a lot of people like. I'm just taking that on a big fluffy brush and gonna just, I'm not swirling it around my face, I'm patting that in. If you swirl it, you can mess up your foundation underneath. So, and need a little bit more. You don't want to go in and with a hard hand and swirl when you're just setting your foundation. But you want to go in with your brush and swirl it around and tap off the extra so it's not caked with it. But I don't like to go in with a ton of powder. I just like to know or feel that my foundation is set really well, but I'm not an extremely oily person, so I don't like to use a ton of powder and dry out my skin. So I just use a little bit, and after I got it all on, I kind of do go over it with my brush and just really make sure it's all done nicely. I don't want to have a spot missed, and yeah. But I'm not putting more on my brush to that's gonna dry out my face more, kind of. But you want to make sure my foundation comes off my nose and my chin very easily. I do wipe my nose a lot. I touch my nose a lot. And, you know, just blowing your nose, you're wiping off your makeup. With setting it a little bit more, it's not as bad. And my chin, I don't know why, it just wears off my chin a lot. Okay. Now we can go in with our eyeshadow and finish that up. I'm going to take this little, like, bullet tip brush. This is a Morphe M321. And I'm going to take that shade that we use for our transition color. And you're going to tap off the extra. I haven't mentioned that. But you don't want to have your brush just loaded with eyeshadow, that when you put it on, it's going to be extremely pigmented and not blend out. You want to tap off the excess so you're not making a mess. You can hear my little pug snoring. I'm just going underneath the eyelid. I know a lot of people don't actually do this step. A lot of YouTubers obviously do it. But it just kind of ties the top lid to the bottom lid and just kind of looks cool. I like it. I'm going to go in and mix both of those shades now. Tap off the extra. Now that I got this darker shade, I'm not going to go all the way in. I'm going to keep it on like that outer third. Alright, I forgot to do this to the other side. Alright, I'm going to just do that to the other side. Going with that transition shade. Oh, I kind of had a little bit of the darker shade on there. Oh well. I am not a perfectionist with my makeup. I try to do my best. I am not a makeup artist. I just really like makeup. And this is just, I have fun with it. Alright. I'm going to go in with this lightest shimmer shade. And that is called El Rey, I think. Tap off the extra. And this is going to be my inner corner highlight. You want to use a brighter color. I like to use shimmers most of the time. Not everyone does. Some people like to use just a matte, like, brighter color. And I'm going to take that up into that blue a little bit and a little bit down. Still on this bullet brush. If you want to, you can spray this shade so it's more, like, vibrant and more pigmented. I am not today, but it's definitely something you can do. I like that. I'm sorry, I just film on my iPhone and do everything on my iPhone for this, so it's not the greatest camera quality, but it's the best that I can do. So that is the eyes pretty much finished up. I will take my highlighter that I'm going to use later and do a little bit underneath my brow bone to just kind of make it shimmer, sparkle. Alright, I'm going to go in with bronzer right now. I'm going to use my Milani Baked Bronzer in the shade Dulce. There's lots of good bronzers at the drugstore. I have the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is good. Some of the Wet n Wild ones are really good. They're pretty pigmented though, so make sure you're tapping off your brush good. I have a L'Oreal one that I like. I don't really have any high-end bronzers. I have the Cover FX face palette that came in my BoxyCharm bag. That's like the high-end bronzer that I have. Alright, I am taking a fluffy brush that's kind of more pinched at the base. This I've noticed has been really great for bronzer. You can use lots of different brushes. I have been using this one too. This is by Real Techniques. And yeah, I'm just gonna go in, tap off the extra, and I'm gonna go in just underneath my cheekbone. Well, if I go down lower to like this hollow, I feel like it's too low and it doesn't look right. It's not lifting my face up. Bronzers to add depth and dimension, so you're not just looking, you know, all foundation-y and just one tone. Bronzer adds that depth and dimension. A lot of people, you will use a cooler tone bronzer and contour with that and really hit those hollows of their cheeks. I don't do that hardly ever. I'm not much of a contour person. I bronze, but I haven't really mastered contouring. And I live out in the country. People aren't contoured and have like big wings. They just don't. But I'm going just below my cheekbones, doing my hairline too. This is actually a really nice bronzer. This is gonna be a super long video. I'm sorry, guys. And then you want to take some of that down your neck. Some people will really get their jawline with that like contour shade or bronzer shade. You can get the sides of your nose if you want to get your nose looking more pinched and, as James Charles would say, snatched. But I don't like do a hardcore nose contour. That's pretty much it. All right, I am gonna go in with a blush now, which I forgot to grab one. I'm gonna go in with my Morphe Pop of Peach blush palette, and I'm gonna go in with the shade Creator and the shade Maker. And I'm just kind of dipping my brush into both. That is a bunch on my brush. If I just went in with that, I would have some crazy blushed out cheeks. So tapping that off. And I'm not brushing it so much in. I am tapping it in so I'm not making a mess of my foundation. This brush is a little bit more stiff, so I think I probably would make more of a mess of my foundation if I really swirled it. If you have a softer brush, it won't. But this is a little bit more of a firmer brush. Ooh, I like how that color turned out. It's very nice. And I kind of do take it up a little bit into my temples. Some people take it across their nose a little bit, and same with their bronzer. I don't really do that, but to each their own. All right, now I'm gonna go in with my highlighter. This is the Colourpop Villain Collection, the Cruella highlighter, and it's in the shade You Idiots, You Fools, You Imbeciles. This is so pretty. Now, their Super Shock highlighters are a different formula. They're kind of like a cream formula, and sometimes they work better with fingers. Sometimes you want to use a brush, but I'm going to highlight right above my lip. This is the Cupid's bow, and it just looks so pretty when you highlight there. So pretty. This is such a crazy shade. It looks like white in the pan, and you put it on. At some angles, I feel like it looks kind of purpley, and other angles, I feel like it looks kind of peachy. I'm going to do just up my nose a little bit, just on the bridge of your nose. You don't want to go all over your nose. Alright, now I'm going to highlight my cheekbones. You want to do like right where your cheekbone is, and you can take it up. You can take it into your brow and just kind of do like the C area. And you want to blend it out good. Or if you want a crazy vibrant highlight, then you go, girl. You go, boy. You do what you want. But this is just the way how I like to do it. And I feel like it works quite well for beginners. I'm going to take some more of that and get up into my eyebrow a little bit and highlight, kind of wildly, but highlight that brow bone. Alright, and go back in, do my other side cheek. Kind of do that C. Sometimes I really prefer to use my finger on these. This one seems a little bit drier than my other ones. But Wet n Wild has some really great affordable highlighters too that are like $5. I have quite a few of those. They have loose highlighters. If you have a loose highlighter, make sure you're not dousing your brush in it and you're just gonna have a streak. You don't want to have that. Well, I mean, if you do, then you do. But I like to have it a little bit more blended out, and you can just kind of go in circles and kind of blend that a little bit so it's not just such a harsh line. Well, some people like to highlight their chin a little bit, do just a little bit on their forehead. I don't have a bunch on my brush. I just have what's left over. And it just, my camera is not going to pick this up, but it's just adding a little bit there. I'm really liking this highlighter. It's rather new to me and I really like it, so. All right, I am gonna go in with my eyeliner. I forgot to do that earlier. I'm just gonna use this brown eyeliner. It's from Lock-It Waterproof Pencil Eyeliner in the shade 2 Pearl Brown. I like to use retractable eyeliners. I feel like they're a little bit more creamier, most of them, not all of them. And I don't really like the pencil ones. They sometimes will drag on my skin and hurt, but I like to just get it in my waterline. I have a hard time. Some people can just draw it in. I pull down my eyelid just a little bit and get it in there. But it just adds a little bit. See, I don't know if you can really see the difference. I can see it, but you can even go in, like with this look, go in with like a gold eyeliner would be cool. Could go in with, to match my inner corner highlight, or I could do a really cool aqua blue color, or just do something completely different. You can, you know, makeup just doesn't really have any limits. That's kind of what I really enjoy about it. It's really fun. I'm gonna go in and do my eyebrows. I don't really do too much to them. I have fairly good eyebrows already. Well, I'm just using this Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil, or the Ultimate Brow. I already took the caps off. And I'm gonna spoolie my eyebrows up. That's what this is called, a spoolie, in case you don't know. And this is in the shade Ash Brown, and it seems to work pretty good for me. And I'm just really lightly going in. I don't like that really block, like Instagram-y brow. I like a more natural, fluffy brow. But I do have some areas that are just a touch more sparse, so I do fill those in slightly. Sometimes things do get a little bit out of hand, but not too bad. And then you want to go in with your spoolie and just kind of get that product around. I don't know if you can see what that did, but it just did a little bit. Didn't do a crazy amount, but they just look a little bit better. Alrighty, I'm gonna go in with a setting spray, and I had said that I really like a dewy look, so I'm gonna go in with a dewy setting spray. This is the Catrice Illuminate Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. That's what it looks like. This Morphe one is really good, the continuous setting spray. There's all different kinds of them at the drugstore. There's Wet n Wild ones that work all right. I have a Flower Beauty one that I like too. All right, I'm gonna get my face kind of a little bit drenched, but all right. And that's gonna add quite a bit of dew. This is a really nice setting spray if you want a dewy look. What? Some setting sprays have a really fine mist, but you want to be able to feel it. You don't want your face to not feel like it had anything. This Morphe Continuous Setting Spray is quite a fine mist, so I'm kind of sitting there for a little bit. But you just kind of get your face lightly wet. I like to go back over it with my sponge and just kind of push that into my skin and make sure there's not a ton of extra just sitting there. You want to make sure you're not using a spot on your sponge where you have like a bunch of foundation. You'd just be spreading the foundation all over your skin. So just like the side of your sponge that you don't have any product on. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with I'm going to go in with mascara. I like to do this after I use setting spray because a lot of times if I do it before I use setting spray, when I close my eyes when I use setting spray, and if my eyelashes get wet with the setting spray and it has mascara on, it will transfer and be all under my eyes, and I don't like that. This is just the Maybelline Snapscara. It's nothing special. I like how easy it is to come off, and it's not stuck on my eyelashes. CYO has a really good definition mascara that I love. Mine is kind of getting old and clumpy, It dried out kind of quick, but I really did like the formula, and I like the brush. You want to make sure your eyelashes are coated nicely and separated. This does take a little bit to get them really nice. It's not something that you just quickly do. If you want just a quick little mascara, that's fine. You do you. If you really want your eyelashes to look really good, I suggest taking your time. There's a lot of people that take 2 hours to do their makeup. I am not one of them. I don't have anything against that. That's great if you have the time. They usually are doing more extravagant eye looks than this though. Okay. Now that I took my time with that mascara, my eyelashes are really separated and they're coated. They're not crazy coated. I don't like them to look spidery, but I just got enough on there to do something and separate them and make them look nice. Now I'm gonna go in and do my bottom lashes with the same mascara. Sometimes if you have a really wet mascara, you're gonna wanna do those first so that when you're doing your bottom lashes second, sometimes your mascara will get all over. But this is a good formula. It doesn't transfer like that so much. But I just lightly coated my bottom lashes. I don't put a ton on there. There's lots of great drugstore options for mascara. You don't need to go out and spend $20 on a tube of unnamed brand high-end mascara. I'm fine with using drugstore. If you have a high-end one that you really like, go for it. You do you, that's fine. Oh, excuse me. All right, now I'm gonna go in with lipstick. I have 2 lipsticks here that I'm going to use together. They're the Colourpop. These are the Villain collection. I have Dr. Facilier and the Hades one. The Dr. Facilier is a little bit darker than what I wanted, but when I mix them, they look great together. You want to be really careful when you're applying your lipstick. Just try to stay in your lip lines. If you want to overline, you can do that. I don't really do that, but if you overline, you want to come back down to your natural lip line on the sides. You don't want to stay out. It's going to be easier to tell that you're overlining. If you're overlining, you're going to want to use a lip liner. I mean, you can use a lip liner anyways. I don't really use them too much, but they might help you stay in your lines a little bit better. You just want to take your time. Make sure you're in your lip lines pretty decently. All right, I'm gonna go over that now with this lighter shade, that's Hades, and just to kind of lighten that up. There, that is lightened up now. Now you can kind of assess the situation, if you will, or you can, probably should do that before you use your setting spray, but anyways, I like the way how things turned out. If you want to add more bronzer, you can add more bronzer. If you want to add more blush, you do that. Or if things just aren't quite right, you can tweak it now. But I am happy with the way how things turned out. Take down my hair. Fix it up. I love this pixie cut of mine. Doesn't take too much for me to do it. I just straighten it in the morning if I haven't already had it straight. Boom. I like it. But yeah, so that's the way how that turned out. I love it. I'm terrible. I'd say that I love every makeup look that I do, but I'm really happy with this look. I hope you guys enjoyed this beginner kind of tutorial. I know this eye look is not exactly something that a beginner would probably choose to do more of a bright color, but like I said, you're going to want to use your transition shade and a deeper color out in your outer V if you'd like. And you can do a shimmer on your eyelid or just use a matte color. But it's pretty like easy. You can kind of swap out the colors and do the same thing if you kind of understand what you're getting. But yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, share if you want to, subscribe please. But comment down below if you are a beginner and like you're really liking videos like this, or if you're not really so much a beginner and you just want more eye tutorials or just, different things, let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.